Hey, Matt here. This is Killer Kyle, and welcome to another episode of Wheels of Fury.
Ah,
And we have another Saturday event. We have Vengeance Day.
yes. NXT Vengeance Day. And it's interesting how, basically got a quick turnaround. Just coming off of the Royal Rumble last Saturday, which was very, very good.
Yes.
And now we're going into NXT Vengeance Day. This, Saturday.
Well, there is a match that I will go off on, but we'll get to that when we get to that. I had missed Tuesday, yesterday I got.
Yeah.
I get my days mixed up. I missed Tuesdays.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what happened. But I do know that I thought it was a triple threat for the tag team titles, but it is a fatal, I don't know what you call that, fatal four-way?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So, and it's going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yes, so NXT's first time being on the road in, call it 3 years.
Yeah, for sure.
Since the pandemic happened.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. It's nice to have NXT go outside Orlando.
Yeah.
So I figured before we start, we need a little liquid refreshment. Bing! So, yeah, here's to another good week, a good night of wrestling.
Aye.
And yeah, let's get started. Nostrovia.
Gonna have Carmelo Hayes versus Apollo.
Oh yeah, Apollo Crews.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think since returning to NXT, he had a really good match with Braun Breaker.
Yes. Apollo Crews versus Carmelo Hayes. They've been going back and forth now for a few months. They, I believe, are 1-1
Right.
in wins. So this is the rubber match. They've actually had some really good matches against each other. I expect this match to be no different. It's one of those things where it's like, who would benefit from a win from this match?
Yeah. Like, if you're gonna push Apollo, and you already had a match with Braun Breaker for the NXT title, obviously, he didn't win that. To make him a legit babyface, or whatever you want to call it, you should have him go over Carmelo. As much as they're both very talented, but be interesting to see what Apollo can do win this match and see if he can actually go over.
Yeah, for sure.
And, unless Trick Williams gets involved, then.
Which, more than likely he will.
Yeah.
Generally does. So, yeah. So, if Trick Williams gets involved, you can pretty much guarantee Carmelo's going to win. If Apollo can negate the X Factor of Trick Williams, he more than likely will win. We'll see what happens come Saturday.
Yeah, for sure. A four-way tag team match.
Yep.
I guess you could call it. Got the New Day versus Callis versus Pretty Deadly versus Chase U.
Gallus?
Gallus.
Yes. Recently, 2/3 of Gallus returned, and Mark Coffey and Wolfgang. Not exactly sure what's going on with Joe Coffey right now, whether it's visa issues or what the case is. And this match should be a very, very good match.
Yeah.
Yeah, the New Day, capture the NXT Tag Team titles at Halloween Havoc and making Pretty Deadly do all these outrageous things. Oh, get us Rick Rude's mustache, which you can't really do because he's dead.
Yeah.
Get us this, get us that. You know, all these things from like legendary wrestlers and whatever. And you had a match with New Day versus Briggs and Jensen. After Briggs and Jensen recited friggin' the Pledge of Allegiance, which was like, okay, random.
Yeah.
And then Pretty Deadly was like, alright, here's the deal. If we run the gauntlet, so to speak, against some of the best tag teams, you know, will you give us a shot at the NXT Tag Team titles? And of course, this was New Year's Evil, and the first team to come out was a Rockers rip-off, knockoff, whatever you want to call it. And the New Day came out and was like, no, this isn't gonna fly. We figured you would do this, and then they had faced Anafi and Malik, and beat them. And then it was going to be Briggs and Jensen, but they got jumped by somebody, and it turned out to be Wolfgang and Mark Coffey, and Mark Coffey and Wolfgang beat Pretty Deadly to earn a tag title opportunity, and then Pretty Deadly also got involved. I think they won a match as well. And then this past week on NXT, there was a three-way with Chase U, Malik, and Anafi, and Schism, and Andre Chase and Duke Hudson got the win, so they're now in the match. So that's how it became a four-way.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think Australian Bryan Danielson's a good wrestler. I think that him and Andre have a lot of heat.
Yeah.
I don't think he likes the fact that Duke is wanting to be a part of GSU. But I don't know. Like, I don't see them win the titles.
No, I don't.
You know what I mean? It's going to be Gallus for me, or it's going to be the New Day retain. Because, in my opinion, Pretty Deadly has already had the gold.
Yeah.
So, been there, done that. So, yeah, if the New Day can retain and keep the titles to whenever the next pay-per-view is,
Right.
then yeah, go for it. I don't know what's going to happen after that, but still.
I gotta agree.
Yeah,
It's either gonna be the New Day retains or Gallus Boy on top.
yes.
And I think it's due time for Gallus to be champions again.
Yeah,
I mean, they held the NXT UK tag team titles, so why not put the American version on them, if you will? I mean, it'd be great to see New Day retain, which it might happen. If New Day doesn't retain, though, for sure, Gallus Boy's on top.
yeah, no, definitely. I mean, they're believable as a tag team. They're both powerhouses, so... And who knows, they might take on Fear and
Indusher. Definitely interesting seeing Jinder Mahal join them.
Yeah,
But I mean, it kind of makes sense. They weren't really doing much with Jinder
no.
as of late on the main roster. I think it was on SmackDown. And he had like one match, I think, or maybe a couple, and then hadn't seen him for a while, and now he's on NXT with Indusher.
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that because I thought the same with the New Day.
Yeah.
There's only so much they could do. And I think after their loss to the Usos, it was kind of like, well, let's see if we can put the take titles from NXT on them.
I guess, yeah.
And, yeah, so.
Another thing that I find rather amusing is there's been a little bit of criticism of the New Day being NXT Tag Team Champions. And it's like, oh, they didn't do anything to earn them. They didn't, earn a number one contender spot, earn an opportunity, blah, 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 blah. Like, neither did fucking Dolph Ziggler, but yet he was NXT champion.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, I digress. So now we'll go to the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. Kaden Carter and Katana Chance versus Fallon Henley and Kiana James.
This is going to be an interesting match.
Yeah.
I think seeing the team of Casey and Caden
Yeah.
are a very good tag team, and I think they mesh well.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The other girls, I have no idea. I think they're good singles competitors. As a tag team, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm gonna stay the obvious. It's gonna be Casey and Caden.
Yeah, I have a feeling they're going to retain for sure.
I mean, again, they mesh well together. I think with Katana, her skills are great in the ring. Yeah, she's short, but she uses that to her advantage.
No, for sure.
So, yeah, it's a simple answer than that. So.
Yeah. One thing that I don't know why they stopped doing it. I actually found it really cool. Just a unique, different entrance, having her climb up the ring post.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool. Just something, like it's a little thing, but it's just so different.
Well, that's what I mean. It was very unique.
Yeah.
And that's something that they need to do more of with other wrestlers who are under 5 feet, I guess. So.
I mean, you look at Caden's or Katana. Anyways, you look at her story being on American Ninja Warrior.
Yes.
And doing that show, and then I guess just try it out to be, at the Performance Center and training and whatever, and then eventually get on NXT and wrestling on NXT for a little bit. Of course, by her, I think her actual name, Casey Catanzaro.
Yeah.
And then they changed it to Katana Chance for whatever reason. Anyway, and then of course partner her with Caden, and they were off and running as a team, and then ended up as NXT Women's Tag Team Champions.
Right.
Well, of course, this was after Roxanne and Cora won the titles, and then Cora turned on Roxanne, and yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So now we have a triple threat match for the women's title.
Yes.
We got Roxanne Perez. No, I'm not going to do that thing. Versus Toxic Attraction.
Right.
So let me get this straight. You're telling me at New Year's Evil, you have Battle Royal, the number one contendership for the women's title, whatever. The last two competitors were Toxic Attraction. Now, the thing that really pisses me off is you got Mandy Rose, who we marked out for, who was white hot as the NXT Women's Champion. And for some reason, Matt Bloom, yes, I found out today that it was actually Matt Bloom. I mean, Sean had a part of it, but whatever. And this had to do with some bullshit that I really think it's a double standard, but whatever. So,
Right.
Mandy Rose leaves, and you have the Battle Royal. And the last two competitors were Toxic fucking Attraction. Uh, whatever the fuck their names are, I don't care.
Daisy Jane and Gigi Dolan.
And they eliminate themselves? Are you fucking serious right now? You had Cora Jade, Zoe Stark, Nikita Lyons, Alba Fire. You had many women that could take on Roxy. And the best you could fucking come up was Toxic Attraction. Why didn't you just have them break up on NXT? What was your logic? What was your fucking logic? You couldn't just have one or the other? So, honestly, I'm gonna say Roxanne. Because seriously, what's gonna happen with Toxic Attraction? Like, who's gonna be face now? Or who's gonna be heel? This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And I just, as much as I love the new era of Triple H, this was the shits. I don't remember something that stupid. So, yes, I'm going to say Roxanne retains. Because there has to be somebody that deserves the title. But this was no way to go. This was the worst idea that you have ever had. Just, I don't understand what the logic is. And it's no longer Vince McMahon, so I don't understand what's going on there.
Yeah.
And I get it. Just because you make good decisions doesn't mean it's always good. You can make some shitty ones. But this is by far, I don't know what the fuck you people were thinking.
Yeah. Like, I agree with Matt. I don't know what they were thinking. Like, they were going on about, oh, we're going to eliminate everybody, then we're going to be the last two. And, your number one contenders, Toxic Attraction. And then when it came down to them being the final two, it looked like they were going to fight each other for who was going to be number one contender for Roxanne. And then when it came down to it, they both ended up falling to the floor at the same time. Pretty much got what they wanted anyways. And I mean, like, why would you have both of them be number one contenders? Because, like, if they win, it would be like fucking, what was it, 2010 maybe? Somewhere in there, a little earlier. Fucking Michelle McCool and Layla, co-women's champion.
That was one way to desecrate the women's title.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to have it work, what you could do, this is just going the route of if, let's say, Gigi and JC win on Saturday, it could be like whenever there's a number one contender for the NXT Women's Championship, you could go, okay, Gigi's going to defend the title. Then JC's going to defend the title and alternate back and forth between the two of them. That could work. Other than that, it would just be it's a stupid idea.
Yeah, it's a very stupid idea. And the only difference between that and Lee Cool was Lee Cool, like, the tag team titles didn't even exist back then.
No.
which is unfortunate. But at the same time, they didn't have a relevant women's roster. I mean, they could have. You had lots of well, we talked about that. You had lots of stables that you could have gone by, but no, we couldn't do that. So, here you have ample opportunity to give a lot of female wrestlers the title, but you're going to go with those two.
Yeah.
And it's nothing against the toxic attraction women.
No.
It's just why.
Yeah, exactly. So, Matt and I agree again, Roxanne's going to retain. So now we go on to a match for the North American Championship. Wesley versus Dijak.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's cool. And it was, another one of those things where it's like, we're gonna take a failed gimmick and we're just gonna scrap it. And, again, it goes to show you what Vince was thinking. He had no idea what he was doing with other talent. So now that Paul Levesque is in charge, it's like, we're gonna go with this. We're gonna give you this now. We got Mia Yim. She's on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
You have, Marseille. He's also on Raw. They got Dominic Dijakovic over at NXT.
Yeah, and they're only going by Dijak now.
Yeah.
Which is what he initially was when the name he used in Ring of Honor.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And it's a cool gimmick. And I know some of the storyline, like the skits or whatever, are a bit weird, like the kidnapping.
Yeah.
But, I mean, would it be cool to see Dijak as the North American title champion? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Wesley has really carried it
yeah.
very well.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if Dijak wins, then who's a credible opponent for him? I mean, he could face anybody.
Oh yeah, he could fucking face anybody. Yeah. I mean, he could have a match with Von Wagner. He could have a match with Odyssey Jones. He could have a match with, literally anybody.
Yeah.
I was joking with Matt one time. This was around the time that Dijak, he went to NXT and started calling him Dijak. I was like, man, just when you were able to finally be able to say Dominic Dijakovic, they fucking changed the name to Dijak.
Yeah.
Damn it!
Yeah. Yeah, that's a different story altogether. Dominic Dijakovic in a mixed match challenge. Anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a really good match.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Wesley, it's funny, you take a guy that come from Impact and you bring him to NXT and it's like he's been on fire.
Oh, absolutely.
So, honestly, guys still say Dijak, but it could go either way.
No, for sure it could go either way.
And if that's the case, I know that Dijak will be the champion at some point.
Yeah. I mean, Dijak, I think, would be a great North American champion, or a champion in general. Is it his time now? I mean, with him just having recently gone back to NXT, of course under a different name and a completely different character, I think they should let the character build a little bit more and then fill a title on him, so I'm gonna go Wesley to retain.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we have the main event, the NXT Championship. We've got Braun Breaker versus Grayson Waller.
Grayson Waller, steel cage.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's gonna be money.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good match.
You look at what Braun could do as the NXT champion, and it was almost like, here's a guy that is second generation wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
He can do it all. He was a football player.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, a lot of them came from that.
Yes.
He is a madhouse. Whether you like him or not, he is a fucking madhouse.
Oh yeah.
So, it'll be interesting to see where this goes. Because he's that smarmy, arrogant prick.
Mm-hmm.
Much like MJF.
Yes.
So, I mean, that is a sign of a good heel.
Oh yeah.
If you can make the audience hate your fucking guts, and yeah, he, just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think Grayson, it's too soon for him. And I know that him and Braun had a match at New Year's Eve, but I think that it's still not time.
Yeah.
Because like the last match, if he wins the NXT title, then where's he gonna go?
Yeah.
You know, who's he gonna face? Once again, you have a lot of guys. You got Tyler Bate.
Mm-hmm.
You've got fucking, well, Tyler Bate. That's all I can think of right now. That could be, well, even if you go back to Apollo Crews
Mm-hmm.
or Odyssey Jones,
Mm-hmm.
there's somebody that needs to be pushed.
Right.
Well, eventually, anyways. And I mean, you look at somebody like Joe Gacy,
Mm-hmm.
and you know how much I'm a fan of his. So, have him as a champion at some point. So, I'm honestly going to say that Braun's going to retain.
Me too.
Because, you know, if he does lose the title eventually, I could see him go right to the main roster.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if that's what you call the main roster, I don't know how many people around the world get NXT, but still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, I mean, we'll see what happens in the future for him, but I still think that he's going to keep the title.
Yeah, so do I. Like, don't get me wrong, Grayson's good, and he's, you know, like Matt said, a smart, smarmy, arrogant, cocky prick that you want to hate, and you want to see him get his ass kicked. And he's also very good in the ring, and he's had great matches, and he's, you know, entertaining to watch. I just don't know if he's ready to be champion yet.
Right.
I mean, he probably could be, but I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting match nonetheless. So, I mean, you don't see too many steel cage matches, main event, premium live event.
Yeah.
So, yeah. NXT Vengeance Day is going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the beginning of February, so we've got Battle in the Valley.
Yep.
We have Revolution, although there's really no matches except for one.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the fuck Tony Khan's doing. So
Probably waiting until closer to... We're only in the beginning of February. Still got like 4 weeks to build it up.
yeah, they also got Elimination Chamber,
Yes.
so that's gonna be fun.
Mm-hmm.
So this has been NXT Vengeance Day, so I want to say thank you for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
This is only a little bit, but that's all I
Yeah.
had left to
Yeah.
share. So,
One thing I did want to mention myself, I don't know if you're aware of this yet. Something I just seen a little while ago. We've lost yet another legend, I will say, in the wrestling world, in the Genius.
yeah,
Leaping Lanny Poffo. I don't know if it was sometime today or relatively recently.
yeah, it was today. I saw that. I did a video a couple hours ago. I saw it this morning. I came with the title, and I didn't clue in
Right.
until right before I did the video. I saw a picture of him, and oh yeah, he's Lanny Poffo, dead at 68.
Mm,
So I mean,
yeah.
like when I started watching wrestling, he was already a manager to the Beverly Brothers.
Yeah.
I didn't really clue in or know that he was a wrestler until like years later. So
Yeah.
he also managed Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig. So
Yeah. Yeah, if you started watching wrestling, let's say, early 90s, then yeah, you would know that he was the genius at that point. And yeah, managing the Beverly Brothers, and of course Mr. Perfect. That's pretty much the only two, well, the only guys he managed was Beverly Brothers and Perfect.
yeah.
He didn't really manage anybody else. But yeah, he's up there with Randy now.
Yep.
And I believe Angelo as well.
Yeah, the family.
The whole family's up there now.
So
They're together again at last.
yeah. Rest in peace, Lanny.
Yeah.
So this has been another episode of Wheels of Fury. And again, I'll be back. Well, we could actually start the first installment, I guess, of Look Back at Your series,
Yeah.
1985.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we'll start with,
The war to settle the score.
yes. So look forward to that. And so, yeah. I mean, Matt. This is Killer Kyle. We will talk to you later. Deuces.